I came out one morning to find my truck gone and a pile of shattered plastic where it had been. The HOA president had it towed from a parking spot I legally owned. The shock was cold and immediate. At 6 a.m., heading to work, I faced an empty rectangle of asphalt and the glitter of broken taillight fragments. This wasn't just where I parked. This spot was deeded property attached to my condo unit. The plot map shows it, my mortgage includes it, my taxes pay for it. But Helen, our HOA chairperson, with her perfect bob and permanent frown, decided my older pickup truck was an aesthetic nuisance next to the newer sedans and crossovers. She started with a written warning about vehicle appearance standards. I shrugged it off. My truck is maintained, it's just not shiny. Then, one Friday, a neon sticker appeared on my windshield. Violation, unauthorized vehicle in designated area. By Saturday dawn, the truck was gone. The towing yard told me the HOA had authorized it as an abandoned eyesore. I'd driven it home 12 hours earlier. I went to Helen's door. She opened it, clipboard in hand, already looking past me. "The rules apply to everyone," she stated, moving to shut the door. I stopped it with my foot. "That space is on my deed." I held up a copy. She didn't even glance. "Community standards override individual preferences." The door clicked shut. I brought the deed to the next board meeting. 4 other owners sat in silence. I slid the document across the table. Helen gave it a cursory look. "We've enacted stricter appearance guidelines for the good of all." One neighbor studied the ceiling. Another mouthed sorry when she wasn't looking. I appealed. I sent emails. Helen's only reply, every time, "The rules are clear." The towing yard demanded nearly $800 in fees. I paid it, my hands trembling with rage, because I needed my vehicle for work. But that payment was the end of my patience and the start of her reckoning. That night, I spread everything out, the deed, the HOA covenants, the community bylaws. I read until my eyes burned. The key clause stated the board could not restrict the use of a deeded element without a supermajority vote of all owners. There had been no vote. Then I researched the towing company. The owner's surname was the same as Helen's maiden name. A few clicks on a business registry site confirmed it. Her cousin. The puzzle locked together. This wasn't just enforcement, it was a family kickback scheme. My plan formed. Not emotional, just procedural and relentless. First, a police report for unlawful conversion of property. The officer was routine until I showed him my deed. His demeanor shifted. "This is your land?" Second, a certified letter to the entire board and the property management firm. It contained the deed, the relevant bylaw, and the business registration linking Helen to the tow firm. My demand: full reimbursement in a written apology within 72 hours, or I would file in small claims court and notify the state's HOA Oversight Bureau. Third, I made simple flyers. Know your deed rights. Unauthorized towing is theft. I included the statute number and taped them to the community bulletin board. On day 2, I watched from the mail kiosk as Helen stormed over and ripped them down. "This is defamation," she hissed, crumpling the paper. "It's public information, and now it's evidence." Neighbors stopped to watch. Whispers started. "Is that about the truck?" The story was now a community conversation, not a private decree. By day 3, the property manager emailed, "Let's discuss." I replied, setting a meeting time in the clubhouse, open to all residents. When I walked in, half the neighborhood was there. Helen sat at the front table, spine rigid. I placed my deed in front of her. "This spot is my property. You had no legal authority to remove my vehicle, and your family's financial interest in the towing company is a profound conflict of interest." A ripple of murmur spread. Helen's smile was a thin, tense line. "We acted within our purview," she stated, and tried to declare the meeting closed to residents. That's when the door opened. A city code inspector and the officer I'd spoken to entered. Remember the broken plastic? The tow truck had backed into a public storm drain while hooking my vehicle, damaging it. The inspector held up photos. Who authorized this tow from a private deeded space? All eyes went to Helen. She fumbled, pointing to the property manager. The manager raised her hands. I have no record of a work order. She nodded to Helen's infamous clipboard. The officer asked for the authorization form. Helen produced a sheet with her signature at the bottom. The inspector compared it to my deed, then addressed the room. You can't tow from deeded property like this, and you've caused municipal damage. Someone is liable. The room erupted in hushed chatter. Phones were raised, recording. An older gentleman in the back let out a single loud ha. Helen's face flushed deep red, then drained of all color. She stammered about preserving standards, but the facade had shattered. 2 weeks later, we were in small claims court. Helen had a lawyer, I had my folder. I presented the deed, the bylaw, proof of no community vote, the video of her destroying the flyers, and the business registration linking Helen to the tow firm. The judge asked 2 questions. Is this your deeded property? And was a vote of the owners taken to alter these rights? My answers were yes and no. The judge sighed and then pronounced his judgment. I find for the plaintiff. The HOA is ordered to repay all towing fees, court costs, and pay additional damages for improper enforcement. Furthermore, any business relationship between the HOA and the towing company in question is to be terminated immediately. Helen didn't look at me as the gavel hell, but I heard a neighbor whisper, "Justice." The HOA cut a check. They sent a letter clarifying my spot as exclusive use. The towing company lost its contract. The broken train was repaired. At the next meeting, Helen resigned to pursue personal projects. We all knew what that meant. Now, peace is a quiet thing. No more notes, no more disdainful looks, just neighbors being neighbors. When I back my truck into its spot now, it's not just parking, it's a quiet, legal victory. If you value stories where documented truth defeats petty power, show your support. Give this video a like, and for more narratives of rightful wins, subscribe to Winds of Thought. The most powerful weapon against a bully with a clipboard is a person with a deed.